Hi friends, I want to talk to you today about micronutrients. I've tried to write this down about 3 different times and it's a whole lot of words, and I don't know that all of those words are doing a very good job of communicating to you just how important micronutrients are and frankly just how cool they are. So I thought I'd try to do it in video form instead. So the first question of course is, well, what in the world is a micronutrient? These are my one-a-day vitamins. They're gummies, pretty tasty. They're fruit flavored, and they give me pretty much all the vitamins and minerals I need to get started every day. If you were a kid, maybe you took Flintstones vitamins, I don't know. But micronutrients are those vitamins and minerals that you find in like a multivitamin, vitamin A, vitamin D, iron, zinc, and these little tiny particles of vitamins and minerals are actually vital building blocks, not just for bodies, but for brains. And micronutrients, it's been shown that in the first 1,000 days of a person's life, and that is starting at conception through a child's second birthday, that the presence or absence of the proper amount of micronutrients can really make or break a child's life potential. And I'm not even being over dramatic here. Let me explain. So basically, by the time a child reaches his or her second birthday, his or her brain has reached its full potential for capacity. Think about a water balloon. So when you put water in a water balloon, what happens? The balloon expands, right? And when you turn that water off, the balloon's capacity has been reached. The capacity is not going to be any greater, right? It's going to stay that, or it's going to get smaller. Well, think of the brain as that balloon. Think of the water as the micronutrients. And in the first 1,000 days of a child's life, that brain capacity is being grown, and that's being driven by whether or not the child is receiving sufficient micronutrients. By the time they reach age 2, of course the brain continues to grow and develop, right? But this potential, the ceiling of potential has been reached. So for the rest of this child's life, their ability to grow physically, cognitively, mentally, emotionally, it's all based on whatever ceiling was reached by their second birthday. And what we're finding is that the kids that we work with in Guatemala, a lot of them, they have access to food supply, but what they don't have access to are the right kinds of foods with micronutrients in them. And so what we see then is that their life potential is seriously curbed by this absence of micronutrients. Now think about that. By the age of 2, what you can accomplish has been significantly impacted by what food and what micronutrients you had access to before you even had any ability to control it. That means a child's ability to learn, their intellectual capacity, can they even achieve success in higher education, in some sort of an engineering environment, some sort of an environment that truly engages their intelligence. Well, for a child that has not had sufficient micronutrients, the answer is not as much. Can an adult work as long? Can they work as hard? Do they have as much stamina? Are there as many sick days? Well, the answer is, if they haven't had access to sufficient micronutrients, no. They're going to be impacted in their work life, in their education life, and you can see how this plays out over a lifetime of 70 years. What could have been can never be. So I want to tell you that because the first foundational plank of what we're doing at Ancora Ministries is providing micronutrients for the community where we are going to work. It's so important because we're not just talking about keeping people alive. We're talking about paving a way for a different future for entire communities by starting with how we provide nutrition for kids. I mean, think about this. If we're able to provide micronutrients starting for these young kids and then parlay that into a school feeding program, now you've got kids who are finishing 5th grade who normally that's it for their schooling, but with an increased intellectual capacity, there's more drive, there's more ability to pursue secondary education. And when that happens, even if it doesn't happen, you've got now people going into the workforce that have greater physical stamina and strength and ability, and that all of that impacts their ability to make a living, their ability to provide for a family, their ability to live up to the potential that God put in them when they were born. So we're not looking at, trying to do something to keep people alive. We're looking at trying to do something that will change entire trajectories, not just of these individual children's lives, but of what that looks like in the next generation when they become parents, and how it impacts their kids. That is what we're really passionate about. It's exciting, but it's also heartbreaking when you think about the fact that God created every single one of us with a plan. He created every single one of us with gifts and with abilities and with potential. And so many children across the world, in Guatemala, where we're working, they have that potential pulled right out from under them because they don't have access to the building blocks that are going to create that are going to maximize their brain potential and maximize their physical, mental, and cognitive potential for their lifetimes. And I can't even imagine, how we quantify what has been lost by all of these children who haven't had access to that. So what you're a part of is providing that kind of access to the children that we're working with. And so when we say things like changing the world and changing the future and changing generations, that's what we're talking about. Thank you so much for watching this, for being a part of what we're doing. I'm so excited about what's next, and I'm thankful for you for being a part of it.